Hey guys, I'm RozaldVane, and welcome back to another episode of A Case of Distrust. Where we last left off was we basically did a run through the stables, I believe. Oh, realizing now, just saying stables, that the guy's last name is Stable, and he's at the horse track stables area, like the horse track racing place that he owns, sort of. But yeah, we're basically hunting down the guy or the person who killed Connor Green, because apparently Connor Green got killed in the midnight and everything. So yeah, I also took. Let's get into it, and then I'll talk more about what I found out recently or previously to prior to this episode. In order to find Green's killer, I had to prove that somebody had the means, the motivation, and the opportunity for murder. Anyone connected to the case was a possible suspect, which is true. Yeah, so we're here. I found out how to get the last few achievements. One of them is definitely just beating the game, but the other two is very straightforward, which was random to me at first. But let's go to those ones and do those achievements. I'm gonna probably quit talking with the taxi cab drivers because I think I'm a little bit burned out from just hearing them talk about stuff. I mean, it's cool that it's talking about history. It says, I peered out of the window until we arrived. Is what it said. But it's cool that they talk about the historical facts or history at the time of the 1920s-ish kind of area. So, yeah. Evidence. I think my newspaper was what I need to introduce to this guy to get the achievement. I asked Carter about the article on Lenin's death. Oh! I didn't realize. Yes. No, wait, no, this guy's the calm folk that he is. Ah, yes. He said, unfortunate tragedy. Truly. Folks might be scared of these Reds, but inevitably, their system will turn out better than ours. I can only hope Lenin's death will not derail from their fantastic movement, he continued. Our own tyrants have poisoned our media against a fair system, but you cannot argue with everyone being offered exactly what they need. Why in our modern society must we do without? I mean, it's funny because today's time already shows how bad capitalism might be. I guess I'll agree with him. I agree with him. Why do we work so hard? Is this him or me? Why do we work so hard only to have the top fraction of this percentage hold more than half the wealth in this country? Carter became jubilant. Exactly. No, wait. Exactly, he exclaimed. We bleed and sweat more than any other people. More than anyone, indeed. And what do we get out of it? We are just feeding the rich their caviar. We continued like that for a while, purring about the Soviet system and its improvements on our own. I imagine somewhere a couple of Bolsheviks were equally envious of our system. ... Clear. Das Capital, achievement unlocked. Eventually we ran out of praise and I swung the conversation in a new direction. Alright, so that's it for that conversation. But that was only for the achievement, technically. So basically it's just talking about capitalism, which is hilarious. Capitalism and communism. Which I don't think that either system's perfect. I think both system has something to offer that the other one doesn't have, and that it's a little bit stable in some certain scenarios, in some case. But I think that if anything, personally thinking, not saying that we should swing, more to capitalism or swing more to communism or something like that. More like we just need to combine better systems together, and like at some point of conflict, we need to make sure that we use a different system for that to get better results versus the other way around. So I don't know. Again, it's like always striking a balance versus having to forcefully get everybody in that one system and stay in that one system forever, because the world needs to evolve, obviously. Like, the world will evolve and people will think differently and stuff like that. All right, so the other achievement, which is funny because it's exactly the same thing. I think we need to talk to, what was it? That lady, I think, from Tinsman. I forgot the lady's name. I need to talk to her again. I'm not going to talk to the taxi cab at the moment. Closed my eyes and leaned on the window until we arrived. Okay. And here we go. Walked in, only bright light of the billiards, hanging lights, I get it. Ella, okay. I gotta remember these names because I keep forgetting the names. So she's the other one who seems to have something to do with the newspaper as well. So they're basically the same thing. They're both the same, both her and Carter have the same sort of ideas somehow, or same ideation of conversations, I guess. I asked her about the article on Lenin's death, which started her on a tirade about communism. That hooey will only make folks miserable, even though parlor pinks admit that Miss Rainey could never be so famous and adored in a red system. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read her lines like I did from the previous episodes. It's been a week since I last did the episodes, so I do apologize if the voicing is different. I'm saying to you now, she continued, there's no good that will come of that. There's no good that will come of that. If you can't try for the best, everyone settles into average. And then average becomes below average, and then it gets worse. I don't even know how I said that. I feel like I read her lines terribly. There's no good that will come off of that. If you can't try for the best, everyone settles in average. I'm trying to not read it in British accent, but I feel like I just did, and I didn't feel like I wanted that. I wanted the country southern accent a little bit, like a little light tinge of that, but it's hard for me to catch it because it's funny because to me, in my mind, I can read it as the southern, but the southern always sounds similar to the British one, or the British one, the more UK base. And the British accent does kind of have that little tinge to what the southern sounds like these time around. And I would never say that they're the same, but they kind of have that similar, like one is derived off of that speech accent, which is funny to me because that's how I see it. It's like interesting to me to think about when I speak in that accent, that I kind of get stuck with the two because they end up being so similar to each other in some capacity. There, and then there's there. I'm trying to think of like a way to separate them in country accent. There's no good that will come of that. Like, see, like I feel like I know that's the British way. There's no way that will come good of that. And that's where my country accent comes to my mind now. See, like I'm trying to figure out like the way to read those, and I'm trying to mix off of that, like pick like separate the two accent. I do apologize. I'm trying my best. I'm sorry. Anyways, so she's saying socialism is bad. I'll agree with her. I love how you just agree to disagree with each other. I agreed with her. Capitalism might have its problems, but communist regime is worse in every way. She nodded empathetically. And that's just their economics. Don't get me started on freedoms. Emancipation won't be there anytime soon. If anything, they're going the wrong way. We continued like this for a while, purring about Americans' politics for political virtues. I imagined that somewhere far away a couple of Bolsheviks were having similar talk about their own system. And there's the achievement. The capital. Achievement unlocked. Eventually we stopped talking about politics. With a K. That's a first. And I moved the conversation in a different direction. Alright, now I can leave her alone. Because there was really nothing much more than that. Alright, so that's another achievement out of the way. There's another achievement, the last one, which I missed out on, which I am surprised that I kind of missed it somehow. The last achievement would be on the Southern Coffee that I saw. I think there was one more achievement, but I think that, I don't know. I don't remember what that was on the top of my head. What that achievement was. But I know that there was another achievement that's not to finish the game. No, I don't want to talk. I'm surprised that talking to the taxi cab drivers were not an achievement. That was kind of something I feel like you could easily do a lot of. So the idea is to talk to Frankie and bring up the topic about this particular mixer, I think, to him. I looked at Frankie. What's eating you, kid? He asked. Yeah, Frankie's easy to kind of catch on to. What what was it? Cocktail shaker, I think it was. I pointed the shaker on the bar. Mind mixing me a drink? I said to Frankie. What do you have? What do you have? He replied with a smile. I asked for a South Side? I asked for a South Side. Frankie muddled a few mint leaves in the shaker, added gin and syrup, squeezed in a lemon, and gently shook. He then double-strained the mixture and poured it over a large piece of ice. I drank slowly, and we had a long laugh, but I forgot what about. Oh, there's the achievement. Pour me another. Achievement unlocked. When I had finished the drink, Frankie asked if I had anything else I wanted to talk about. Nope. Alright, so that's the achievement, the second to last achievement I saw. I think there was one more achievement. Let me double check. Give me a quick Alt-Tab to see the menu here. Oh no, that was the last. Okay, that was the second to last one. Okay, cool. So we got one more, and that last achievement is to finish this game. So we need to figure out who the killer is for this game, and then we're pretty much done with this game, pretty much. I mean, the achievements are straightforward, but it's really hard to catch, I feel like, which is really nice, but who knows. Tiny Paul's apartment. That's the last location we have not been to. So this will be the last location, but I'm assuming that Tiny Paul is our main suspect for Connor dying, because I think he's the only one who would know about this kind of thing, and I think his crew would be the only one lying about Tiny Paul's like whereabouts and stuff, because no way in hell would Connor be killed by other people for other motives and means and stuff. Tiny Paul was in his Pacific Heights penthouse. If I had any questions for him, I could go there. Please go there. Now, I'll probably talk to the taxi cab driver here anyways. Might as well, since we're going to a new location. We talked about the weather and not much else. Sometimes taxi cab drivers made poor conversation partners. Oh, so there was meant to be nothing there. Okay. Paul's building was still new, built only a few years earlier, but it was already a beacon of Pacific Heights, tall and proud above its surroundings. Its crisp vanilla interior was accented with gold, and its elevator was run by an equally immaculate operator. I rode it to the top floor bungalow that belonged to Tiny Paul. Alright. Oh, he's knocked out. Paul's home was extravagant. Every item adorning the apartment was of high quality, but there was an evident lack of finesse to their combination, as though Paul had simply purchased expensive accoutrements without any thought for design. Okay, so we got this chair, this little thing on the table, Paul himself, his shoes, his hat rack, and a picture frame. Let's see the picture frame. The oil paintings that hung on the wall had no particular theme. One had roses, and another showed a landscape. But each of their frames was ornately carved with a fine wood. A hat hung with from the rack nailed to the back wall, as did an empty gun rack. Oh, somebody might have pulled his gun and used it and then ran off with it. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, I'm starting to think that the wife killed Connor. I have a feeling, because I don't think Tiny Paul would be in the mood to even kill Connor, considering how dumb he is, kind of. Like, he's not super dumb, but he's just oblivious to the scheme that Connor had against him, so we'll see. The wrapped bouquet of flowers lay on the table. They were vibrant yellow. They reminded me of flowers I'd seen earlier, but I couldn't place them at that moment. Yellow. Need to see the notes for this. No, evidence. Mr. Green the Green's house might have had plants, yeah. The furthest table, the door. I could never keep plants alive either. Vibrant yellow. Ooh, I knew it. Oh, this already just kind of proves that Mrs. Green is guilty, actually. I can tell, because that was the only place with actual flowers. It's so easy. I don't know why. It's so easy to just to find out who the hell is guilty here. Paul's light brown shoes were discarded besides the couch he lay on. I wonder where he was. Yeah, nobody mentioned where Paul went. throughout that whole incident at midnight. The couch and chairs had patterned olive-colored cushions. Their arms and legs were gaudy shades of gold, matching the gold of the tables. Yo, Paul, wake up. Tiny Paul was sprawled across his Chesterfield smelling of rubbing alcohol. I said hello. It took a century, but his eyes eventually climbed to meet mine, and he slurred a greeting. I figured a drunk Tiny Paul could be more honest. I thought it was a good time to grill him. Alright, so there's a lot of things that he might know that will help us definitively figure out who the criminal is. And I think the true criminal, way before the murder has happened, even, is that Mrs. Green was guilty. I also feel like that's the case. Because the reason why I do think that is because of the flowers being one and the hat being in the place of the coat that she had in the greenhouse. But the problem is just motive. Like, why did she kill Connor? Paul has better motive, but I don't know. The opportunity works. The opportunity and means work for Mrs. Green's problem, so she would be the suspect. But Tiny Paul has the motivation. If he finds out that that we find out that Paul was killing Connor because of the fact that either he's jealous that he has the singer, the Mrs. Green, as his wife, and he wants to kill him so he can have Mrs. Green for himself, or that he did it because he found out that he was lying to him all this time. But I doubt it that he understood that he was being lied to about the wine, alcohol stuff. So that's my only thought, that the motivation is there, but it's just like the other two things, the means, the gun disappeared from his gun pocket, but it's like he should have carried the gun with him still, even then. And the opportunity for him was also there, but I feel like it's not there to truly be there. I went to the Tin Spoon and you weren't there, I said to Paul. So, you decided to pester me here, he sighed. Okay. Tiny Paul. No, that's not it. Ray Carter, sitting in Stable's barber chair. Stable's running and the hangs of the thing. Won the lottery money. I'm actually curious about the lottery money, though. He just granted. Apparently, he had nothing more to say about it. Okay, that's not helpful. Died at midnight. Green was killed around midnight, I told him. Do you remember anything from then? After the jazz stopped playing at 10, I went up to the pool room to shoot. I think the whole band came in. We played cards until the early morning. So you were in the Tin Spoon all night? I asked. After 10, he nodded. Though I did leave before then. I met with Redstone Stable at 9 o'clock. Then around 5 in the morning. It seemed he hadn't slept much. Wait, what? I met with Redstone Stable at 9. Then around 5 in the morning. Oh, so he met Stone the night before. At 9. And then he went to the Tin Spoon and stayed there till 5 in the morning. And then in the morning he went and in the morning he met with Stable again, I guess. You met with Stable, I asked. Why? I ain't telling you that, sister. Then why should I believe you at all? Believe what you want, he snorted. I was in the pool hall when Green was shot. Okay, I'm not gonna contradict because there was not enough clues. I can't challenge him at this point. Yeah, because I don't have anything like evidential that actually shows that, yeah, because this guy said that nobody passed through it. So it's like this is the hard thing to capture, is like who walked out of it. I told Paul that Green had been killed with a large automatic. He replied sardonically, "What is our country coming to? So many people owning firearms." What do you mean? You're the one with the gun. So many people owning a firearm? Excuse me? You're the one missing one, at the very least, you bastard. Paul's apartment. Holster. I pointed at the empty holster in the room. What strap? Just hold your slingshot. That strap? Just hold your slingshot? Paul's deep breath carried more booze than a bootlegger's truck. "Alright, Malone," he said with slurred words. "I do carry a gun. Well, you're barking up the wrong tree. Lay off if you don't know what's good for you. You don't even know what my gun looks like." I probably do. Is it this? I described the gun I'd found and how it matched the type of gangsters were known to carry. "And I don't see your gun around here," I ended. His jaw stiffened. I keep my gun in that holster, and when I'm not at home, that holster stays on my person in my jacket. "So where is it now, Paul?" "What if I told you I lost it yesterday? How could you disprove that?" I raised an eyebrow. "Weak story, Paul. Weak or not, weak or not, it's not, it's what I'm telling you. What are you going to do about it?" I mean, it's good to threaten him, but he also says that he would threaten me back with real force, but I'll do it. I'll risk it. I thought of accusing Tiny Paul of killing Green. Accusing someone of murder was certain to agitate them. I knew it was not something I should do lightly. They would refuse any further casual chats. But if I was confident that Paul had killed Green, including knowing the means, the motivation, and the opportunity for him to do so, then I knew I should accuse him. But I'm not doing it. "What is it you want, Malone?" Paul asked as I stood thinking. I reconsidered my accusations at that particular moment and instead moved to a different question. Yeah, I'm not gonna accuse him just yet. I need to still figure things out. Flowers. I'm curious about that. "I noticed the flower on your ottoman," I said to him. "A vibrant yellow, though I didn't peg you a tulip kind of gal." "Well," he hiccuped. "You hardly got to know me." "Who are they for, Paul?" "My mother," he said with finality. Tiny Paul didn't strike me as a man who would buy a dozen flowers for his mother. He wouldn't tell me who the flowers were for, but I let it go just then, which I'm gonna kill him for this one. Or not, like, literally, not gonna literally kill him. I'm gonna destroy his thought that I wouldn't know this. "I know a girl who likes flowers like the ones on your table," I said to him. "Called Green, but she likes yellow flowers. How do you figure that?" I don't think he liked the way it figured. He stared at me, eyes ablaze, that told me all I needed. Tiny Paul was Fanny Green's admirer. "What are you saying, Malone?" "Really? Again? I get to, Just asking questions, I said to him. A detective has to cover all her leads. Paul took a heavy sigh, but in his drunken state, he didn't even do much more. Alright, so it's a lot of, like, problems already to begin with. Okay, let's ask about locations of death. Green was killed around midnight, I told him. "Do you remember anything from then?" He sighed. "I told you. I was playing cards upstairs from 10 o'clock until the early morning." I'm not going to contradict that still, because there's not enough evidence for that either. Interesting. I might bring up that most of them have guns. Ellis Smith tells me that most of your regulars are packing heat. Paul frowns. if you'd like to put me on the stand for crimes my patrons commit, I don't think I'd have any chance of beating the rap. But I don't control what my guests do, Malone. Okay. Let's try to break him with the lies that Connor had. Police say that Green was a ghost in San Francisco before 1920, I told Paul. And now he's a ghost here too. What do you want me to say, Malone? He's a ghost here too. Damn it, that's so freaking rough just to hear him say that. Shoes. No. Maybe the hat? No, I need to ask about the hat in his place. The hat on his rack, because I know he has a hat thing, but then those had holsters, I guess. Shoes, maybe. He just grunted, apparently. Okay, I'll leave him be for now. Right now, I found out what the means are for everything, but there's 3 places or 2 places for the means, but there's not enough evidence for the motive for why Paul killed. Yeah, there's still not enough placement for the motive that Paul has against Connor, I would say. So it seems like I'm going back here so I can talk to Stable to see what he can say about Paul's accusation that he actually met with him in the night before the murder. So now that we know the gun belongs to Paul, we need to find a way to say that could have been. Yeah, I might ask Tiny Paul for that later. But let me talk to Stable. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. If I go silent, I'm trying to think of what I need to ask about certain people, because some people don't have things, or not enough stuff is being told from whatever standpoint they have. Tiny Paul tells me that you two met last night. I put to Stable, and then you met again early this morning. He says you looked ragged. Not much sleep then. Very well. Stable sighed. I do admire that I spent yesterday searching for information on this case, and that perhaps the search bled into this morning. In my situation, would you not also look for clues against Green, a man who has accused you of blackmail? I must have beamed at him, armed now with the knowledge that Stable has no alibi the previous night. Oof. However, oh no, that's Stable saying stuff. However, he continued, in my search to clear my name, I did find a fact that might interest you. A fact that I had kept to myself. But if Paul wishes to lay claims at my feet, I might as well tell you. I looked at him quizzically. The tin spoon has a backed exit. Patrons likely have no suspicions of it, but I am certain many of the staff know. They could enter and leave without anyone noticing. And how do you know about this? I asked. Never mind how I came about the information. Just be thankful I am giving it to you. If you do not believe me, I encourage you to ask others about it. That was a peculiar development. I noted it and continued my questioning. Okay, so that technically gave us some good ammo for talking to other people about it. I can tell him that Paul lost his gun here. I pointed at something in my book, but nothing. Okay, so we'll leave him maybe, because I think that was a strong evidence to kind of bring up for other people to be asked about it. Let's go to Green's house. I want to see what Mrs. Green has to say about the admiration from Tiny Paul. Oh my god, we're almost out of time. I just wanted to check time. Yeah, looked out of the window until we reached our destination. Yada yada yada. Apartments. Mrs. Green. Got some stuff to ask about you. Miss Malone, have you found anything about my husband's killer? She asked in her chair. I mumbled a greeting and sat down beside her. Okay. Since she is the singer of Tin Spoon, from Tin Spoon, I need to give her this back exit note to kind of clarify with her. I hear rumors about the Tin Spoon might have a back exit. Fanny shook her head slowly. I haven't heard those rumors. Okay. So she doesn't know, which I'm very surprised about, but I want to ask about this. I've had a few sources connecting you and Tiny Paul. Mrs. Green, is he your lover? Her face turned crimson. She denied my claims with just about every word in the thesaurus, but that face had told me enough. Her and Tiny Paul were having an affair. Oh, I kind of knew that, which could give her enough motive to kill her husband. Which I also think the same thing, but that I do think that she is the one who killed Connor. I just do think so. So she has motive at this point herself, but Tiny Paul also has motive as well. Sheesh. She did disappear as well at the opportunity, because there was an opportunity for her to disappear at the back door entrance. Since she's pretending like she doesn't know, she might be lying to me about pretending that she doesn't know there's a back exit to the Tin Spoon. So I'm probably worried that she is the one who's kind of it. Okay, let me ask her about the missing gun, I guess. So there is some clues about it too. Tiny Paul's gun is missing, and he says only somebody close to him would grab it. What are you implying, Miss Malone? She asked. Or she questioned. Just that anybody in the billiards room could have taken his gun, and you were close to Tiny Paul, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you had taken it, I concluded. She didn't like that conclusion, but it fit that she had access to the murder weapon. So there's means, and she does have a motive, but the question is, when is that opportunity? And that opportunity was already shown. Yeah, because since she kind of made her way through with the since she is very close to Tiny Paul, it made it easier for her to get close to him and get the gun while he doesn't notice it. Okay, so let me ask everybody else so I can fill in the gaps of... Yeah, I need to go talk to all three individuals, Carter, Ella, and Paul, about the secretive back entrance. But I'm pretty sure this information came from Carter first. The back entrance idea probably came from Carter, and that's what Stable wanted to ask Carter. But just then I felt my exhaustion and decided to rest my eyes until we reached our destination. Alright, I'll end it here for now. And next episode, let's go ask Carter if he knows about the back exit in the next episode. So next episode may be our last, maybe not, who knows. But I think we are getting closer and closer to getting enough information to accuse Mrs. Green of the crime, because of the fact that she is the only one who seems very much like intending to kill Connor. But at the same time, it's only between Tiny Paul and Carter. I don't believe that Stable would kill Green for any other reason. Like, he doesn't have really any incentive to really kill Connor, because business is business, but you don't just kill somebody with, like, the intention of getting accused yourself in whatever reasons. So, yeah. And the only person who disappeared, truly, during that time of the murder is Mrs. Green. So there is no other, like, person around there that would make sense of it. But otherwise, that's it for this episode. See you guys in the next one. And, yeah. This has been A Case of Distrust. I'm looking forward to seeing how this ends and how this all wraps up. So, Roz, out.